Welcome to the Fringe Youth Worker Podcast with TJ and Sonny.
So here we go. Hello and welcome to the Fringe Youth Worker Podcast. My name is TJ McConaughey, and I am joined live by my best friend, my BFF, my blood brother, Sonny Saltalamacchia. Sonny, what's happening, homie?
TJ, we're live, man. This is pretty cool. We tried to do this before, but didn't have the technology to do it, which it's kind of funny because me and you are both semi-tech guys. But now we're able to, so this is pretty exciting. And
it is pretty cool.
It's fun. And maybe TJ, next week we should have those heart necklaces, that say best friends and they're cut in half with the heart, and we should show us opening those live on the stream. That'd be kind of fun.
I think that would be super fun. Or we could just make bracelets together like it's summer camp. And I can make you one, I'll send it in the bracelets. Mail. But make sure and sanitize it first.
Let's make them with our hair. That way they're more authentic.
Yeah, that would be cool. And later on tonight, Sonny, people don't know this, but me and you picked up different jobs,
yes.
Not because we are jobless, but because we are unessential.
I'm essential. I'm still working every day. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm still working every day, but I wanted to get out of the house. That's really what I wanted to do.
Yes, exactly.
And so I'm working Uber Eats and you're working DoorDash.
The main reason I got it though, TJ, was to take my boys around and have them deliver the food and say, this is work. This is how you get money, and really teach them.
I actually do that with Max every time I go out.
Yeah, man, exactly.
I have him come to the door with me and take some of the stuff. Yeah, that's actually what we do. That's awesome.
That's cool, man.
Oh man, our minds are just connected like crazy. We have some people on the thread here. So guys, go ahead if you want and go ahead and ask us any questions as the show goes on, and we'll try to answer them. But other than that, I'm done with this chit chat, Sonny. Let's get to the show.
But there's no music to transition, so like
it's just that. All right, Sonny, question of the week. That is the time where I ask you a question and then I chime in on that question. The question I have for you this week is this, Sonny. What is a revelation that you've had about your normal schedule and job now that you have been in quarantine?
Like the current schedule now or schedule before?
Your schedule before. So you've made a revelation about the work that you do. What is that?
I think the biggest revelation I've been having, when you go to a foreign country and usually life is like slowed down, like the movement, the pace of life is just chill. Mm-hmm. I realized I was so sucked up into that. Get to the office, stay at the office,
Yeah.
Go here, go there, go here, go there. And I was stressed out every single place I went, and almost every single thing I did, I showed up, but I was super stressed right before I showed up. And I'm realizing now with all this extra time in my house, and I'm still sticking to a routine. So I get up at 4 a.m. usually every day, get in the shower. Usually I ride my bike. I'm on my bike by about 5:45 a.m. And I'm riding around the neighborhood and kind of collecting my thoughts and getting ready for the day. And I'm finding that I have more time to kind of do the things that make me. And I'm also finding that a lot of other people are as well. So I'm hearing from a lot of my coworkers, they're spending more time in their garden, or they're playing with their kids more, or they're cooking more, or they're doing things that aren't directly related to the productivity of their life, but they're doing things that are related to their mental health and their spiritual being of their life and stuff like that. And I'm finding that's the biggest thing, man, is I've been so busy with the go, I don't do the things that kind of make Sonny. And by doing those things, I'm a better version of myself and stuff like that.
I like that. I like the language of better version of myself because it reminds me of Joel Osteen, self-help guru kind of stuff there.
Is he essential?
I want you to be the best version of yourself because the worst version of yourself is terrible. It's pretty verifiably. It's really upsetting.
He's a horrible guy. He's a horrible guy.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I realize how much work it is for the kids to be at the house all the time. Yes. I'm realizing how big of a job my wife has most of the time. I'm realizing that I need to go in the office as much as I pretend like I don't want to go in the office or the office needs me there. It's really a deep internal thing that if I go somewhere, that feels like work to me, even though I do a lot of work from home anyway. It's just that I need to go somewhere and do the work. And so that's kind of something I've sort of felt about this. I usually try to take a lot of students and staff out to lunches and stuff, and not being able to do that has been like really hard on me. And I'm realizing how much I don't feel connected with people if we don't share meals, if we don't have
yes.
And so that's been a tough thing. I mean, a Zoom call is great, but there's something that's just not fully there, right? It's like a microwave dinner, right? It gets you the calories you need, but there's stuff that's missing, obviously. And that's what Zoom is compared to like actual interaction. So that's what I'm at right now.
I'm glad you said that because so we're doing counseling, right? So we do individual therapy and group therapy and stuff like that, and talk to parents, probation officers, all that stuff. And we're still doing all of that except for groups. We're not doing groups anymore, but we're going to start doing groups next week. But for the most part, we've been doing phone calls, and I'm talking to kids for half hour. A lot of my kids, I'm like playing Fortnite and then talking to them on the phone at the same time. So we're still have like a shared activity, which makes it easier to talk, and we're still talking and stuff like that. But there's something missing, and I find I'm more drained at the end of the day now than I was before, even though like I'm at my house and the stress of being out and about is gone. It's a weird kind of like emotional taxing that happens when it's only a conversation without like the face-to-face. Because I think the magic of human relationships is the face-to-face. It's seeing somebody smile. It's feeling the vibe. It's feeling the mood in the room. It's a person getting it and you getting them. And then like that shared experience, like you said, you're missing a meal with somebody that's the magic, man. We can have a conversation with our voice and we know who it is and that relationship is established, but there's something missing. And I think it's that reward of just the human interaction with each other, man. It's weird. It's been a weird thing.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter your personality types. I think some people are like, wow, this is, introverts must be really, really excited about this. No, if you don't have human interaction, things get weird. That's when mental illness like gets magnified. Is isolation does just terrible things to the human psyche, to the human soul. And so, yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And yeah, I think that there's some of us who are, more wounded by it, but I definitely think this is, this can't go on forever. That's kind of what I'm like right now.
but how does, I mean, I don't want to future trip and all this kind of stuff. The biggest thing I've been finding though is having a routine. And I would encourage anybody out there, have a routine. Get up at the same time every day, take a shower, do some exercise, and really exercise. It's always been important, but now it's even more important because like anxiety is like excess energy in your body and it needs a place to go. Emotion needs motion. And more importantly than ever, we have to get that out because the longer we stay cooped up in our house, being bored with nothing to do, we're going to drive ourselves crazy, TJ. And I'm finding, a lot of people I work with are, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees. They should be educated, smart people, and they're struggling. So imagine the people that like, the lower socioeconomic scale of life and stuff like that, and don't have a lot of education or have 7 people living in a tiny house. The chaos, the combustion, the tenseness of all that is it's only gonna get worse as this goes on and stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely. And what I've been also thinking about, and this is kind of getting us off the rails a little bit, is what about people who have really, really dramatic and maybe even traumatic home lives, and they're being told stay there? There's times in my life right now, in the past, that if you told me to stay home, that would be terror to me. That would be so traumatic to me. And I'm thinking about those students right now who are just like not in safe places and they're being told they have to stay there. And that's tough, man. I think about it so much, and that really is tough for me. So.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Already in the first couple of weeks, suicide calls are up, domestic violence situations are up, child abuse is up, and you look at certain counties and certain cities across the country. It just kind of depends on where it's at, but it's a very real thing. It's kind of like if a problem existed before all this stuff, now that problem is magnified, and because of all this and stuff. And so, so
Yeah. And right now I just want to go out to the forum right there. Carly says face-to-face is so important. It really is. Sonny, one of the things that we had today, which was really great for my soul, is we did a team effort with the children's church in our congregation. And we did this thing called the drive-through egg hunt. And we had people come through and we gave them all baskets, or not baskets, but bags. And we sanitized everything and handed it to them on trays, and everybody had face masks on and all that stuff. But basically we gave everybody things to go home and to do their own egg hunt with. Nice. But the cool thing is we had, 20, 30 people at the church, but we were all spread out into conglomerates of like 5 or 10 people in different stations, and cars drove by and we had music pumping and we were dancing and we were making people dance in their cars. And it was just so fun to be around humans and to be laughing and dancing. And like, seriously, Sonny, like it doesn't sound crazy awesome, but there was people who were crying,
yes,
because they needed this,
yes.
And so the fact that we did that, the fact that our children's church director Bethany and her team, really, pushed that, and we jumped on board with them. It was a great idea, and it was a huge win. And we ended up giving over 650 bags out. Oh wow, it's crazy. We had times where we were completely backed up in our parking lot, and other times when they were completely dead. But it was awesome. It was so cool.
TJ, I know it's been several years since you've been in school. And I know that when you were in school, you didn't really pay attention very much because you were gifted from birth. But question for you.
Yeah.
Blank percent of communication is nonverbal.
85.
80% is what they say.
There you go.
So yes, man, like we need more. Like Thursday, I spent all day on the phone. It was a rough day, rough family situations. I didn't know what to do. I told my wife, I was like, I gotta get out of here. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I gotta leave. So I took my bike, went down to the park, and just rode around. I just put headphones in. I just wanted to see people. And so it was like, it was a beautiful day. I seen the water running. I seen birds chirping. I seen people. It was just like, it refueled me just to see other people, even though I'd been talking to people all day. It's like, there's an energy, man. There's a vibe that goes before us and stuff. And it's so true, man. We need people.
So and even, like when I deliver things for Uber Eats now, cause I do that.
Have you stolen a fry yet? Have you stolen a fry?
No, dude.
You haven't taken a fry?
Heck no, you can't. McDonald's, first of all, McDonald's seals their bags, but some places don't seal their stuff.
I'm gonna take a fry.
Stop that, dude.
I'm gonna take like 3
You can't be talking like that.
I'm gonna take a picture of it when I take a fry too, and I'm gonna send it to you. Here's your large French fry.
Stolen fries taste better.
Here's your medium large French fry and your medium large strawberry milkshake. Oh, no, I didn't say that either. Go ahead.
Anyway, I when I'm dropping things off, like normally I think I would like it just to drop things off of the door, which is what you kind of do. But every once in a while, someone will just say, hey, just bring it to the door. And it's kind of a cool interaction. I'm like, oh, this is really fun. But today I got like my feelings hurt because the lady came out and then she stopped and she goes, can you just put it on the ground right there? And it was like it felt like I was doing something illegal.
Just put it down and walk away.
I put it down on the ground and then I walked away, and she came up and I kind of engaged her in conversation a little bit because I'm a 7. I have to do that. But anyway, it is weird, man. And I'm having lots of revelations about what work is and what the office is and how office doesn't mean work. Sometimes office means it's my safe place. Somebody once told me like, hey, that was going to take a sabbatical, and people kept telling him, hey, you're going to go away and you're going to find out that everything will go just fine without you. And he goes, that's not my problem. My problem is I'm going to go away and I don't know if I'm going to be okay when I leave. And that's what's happening right now.
Which that shows, doesn't that show an imbalance in our lives? Right? That shows something is off in us that we can't dude, I love riding my bike. It's like the funnest thing in the world right now, dude. The other day I found myself, I wasn't riding in a straight line, TJ. I was like listening to music and I was like moving my bike to the music and stuff. Like I was like 12 years old again. And I was like, this is the funnest thing ever. Why don't I do this every day? Dude. It's so fun, man. And so
I danced the whole time in the parking lot today.
Yeah,
for 3 straight hours. I danced the whole time.
And if you wouldn't have danced, there would have been 1,200 cars that would have showed up instead of only 600.
I was social drunk today. It was crazy. That's what it was. I was straight up socially drunk. That's what it felt like. I'm gonna get their stuff here. Yeah. All right. So we oh man, lots of stuff going on the thread, and we're people are sharing this. Hey guys, if you're listening right now on Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button and get some other people in on our podcast tonight. Yes, we had a bunch of things going on here. I hate doing. Heidi says, I hate doing my appointments via the phone. Heidi's a social worker, so she's not.
What up, Heidi? Fist bump to you, Heidi.
The joy of Easter was real. People are loving what our conversation is. Yeah, if you want to ask a question, this is going on. Tales from the Fringe. It's time for Tales from the Fringe. And it is that time where Sonny tells a story about a time he works with Fringe kids, and TJ tells a story about a time when he was a Fringe kid, or what time when
finally giving up, huh?
Or a time when he worked with a Fringe kid every once in a while. And that's what we do. So Sonny, tell me awesome. A tale from the Fringe.
I don't know if I got a specific tale today.
What the heck, man? We're live tonight, and you're gonna pull that right now. You're gonna pull that right now.
Okay. Here's one. I got this kid. Can't say his name. First met him. He was kind of like this kid who like. You ever meet that kid who like they identify with their disorder, so to say, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, my life is so messed up. Oh yeah, I had a rough life. No, my life, and like for whatever reason that happens, it's rough, and really it's sad because they have nothing else to identify with, and so whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm working with this kid, and I'm trying to crack my jokes and do my normal thing, and he's not really laughing, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm killing him right now. Why is this kid laughing at these things? These are funny. And just wasn't doing anything, right? And this was like probably a week before we ended up having to shut down services because of the coronavirus and stuff like that. So I do his A&D assessment, and then I do his mental health assessment the next week. And then we set up our treatment plan and stuff like that. And his big goal is to kind of work things out with his mom and develop a relationship with his mom, because his mom's always tripping on him and stuff like that. So anyway, then the whole coronavirus thing happens. And then I'm like, dang it, that stinks. And so it's going to be super hard to develop a relationship with this kid only by the phone, because I just did his assessment and haven't really had a chance to develop a strong rapport with him anyway, or yet. So it comes around like the first week, I'm making my calls, and I kind of kept pushing him back. I was like, oh, I'll call him later. And I'm calling the kids I'm comfortable with, because, it's always easier to hang out with those you're comfortable with versus those you're not comfortable with. And so I'm doing that. And then like around Thursday, the first week rolls around, and I start feeling kind of guilty. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to call him up. So I call him up, and I'm kind of thinking in my head, like, he's not going to want to talk to me. He's going to think I'm a dork for calling him, blah, 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 blah. So I call him up, talk to his mom for a minute. And then he gets on the phone. He's like, hey, Sonny, what's going on, man? Been waiting for you to call. And I'm like, well, you have? And we ended up talking for like 45 minutes on the phone the very first time I call him and stuff. And it was super cool, man. And like I just kind of like, I got in my own head about it, and was like, well, this, that, or the other. And he was super stoked. So then the next time I call, we're going to be going over to some DBT skills and stuff like that. And I was like, well, is he going to be really receptive or not? And so I just dive into the work, and I made sure that I was intentional with my phone call with him, where it wasn't just a, hey, how's it going, whatever, but I was intentional with the work I needed to do with him. And I dove into it with like, I had a whole page lesson ready to go. We only got to like the first 2 questions and stuff, and just got really deep pretty quick. And it just kind of reminded me to as a counselor and as somebody who works with youth, to always be intentional and stay intentional. Like you have your moments where you're just hanging out, but when you need to be intentional. And even on the phone, like as we're all transitioning into this whole talking on the phone thing, and it's really weird. And like I talk to all the POs, I'm talking to other counselors. Everybody is weirded out by this, But it's what we have to do. And I want to encourage you, if you are in like social work or counseling or youth pastorship, and you're doing stuff on the phone, be intentional and follow through and do it, because you'll find that as weirded out as you are by it, the kids are even more weirded out by it, and they need that support more than ever now, especially with those fringe kids. And I'm finding that the fringe kids are the ones who want us to call them every day. They want our support every single day because it's just really stressful at home and stuff like that. So be intentional. Don't shy away from those relationships that maybe aren't as good as the other ones. Don't call the kids you're comfortable with. Call those kids you're not comfortable with, because they probably need you more than the ones who are comfortable with you.
I love that. So Sonny, my tale from the fringe is really similar to yours. It's a student, and actually they were a student of mine and then they became a staff member, but recently they've kind of fallen off, and I got wind that they were kind of going down a pretty dark path in their life. And so I called them up and I said, hey, we need to meet. And this is before kind of Corona was kind of, you can't do anything. And they just all of a sudden start telling me all the things that they're into. And so I had that whole conversation with him. And it just, at the end of it, like I could tell that we were just going to be on different pages. I could tell that it wasn't going to be that. And I could tell that he was just going to keep exploring this present darkness. I to quote a book from Went My Way Past. But I could tell that he was just going to keep going down that road. And I became really scared for him, because I realized that, when you identify with your struggle, all you do is struggle, and that does not lead to life. And the last thing I left him with is like, man, don't cut me out, and I've been trying to text him and he kind of gives me one short answer and stuff like that. Then my question about that is, that's the discussion I had with him, and I'm kind of getting cut out of his life right now. And I've always kind of given him good advice before. What should I do, Sonny? Should I keep on, hitting him up, or should I just kind of let it breathe for a while? And then, maybe when he finds the bottom of this whole thing, he'll look back and be like, hey, now I need to go say hi I need to go hit up TJ again. What do you think?
I always encourage people to keep the conversation open. And if you're bugging him is shutting down the conversation, then pull back, I think it's hard. I think, to a certain degree, if you bugging him is pushing him further away, then, maybe you got to pull back a little bit and let him know you're here, And then when he comes, I just did that the other day with the kid. I was meeting with him at the schools, and I've hit him up a couple times on Instagram, and he just said, hey, I'm just not in the mood to talk right now. I said, all right, cool. Hit me up when you're ready. And then 2 days later, he texts me like at midnight and says, hey, can you talk? I'm like, I'm in bed, bro. I talked to him for a minute and then hit him up the next day. But I think sometimes you just gotta, to save the conversation, you gotta stop the conversation for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's, I think, the hardest part about our job is, especially, because as Christ did, he's seen the potential. He didn't see the sin. He's seen, man, you could be this. And we, as you work with kids, you're like, man, you could be this. And when they don't see it, all you want to do is every fiber in your being is just like, dude, if I could just take you and show you what your potential could be, that would shake you out of this real quick. But sometimes I think they have to learn that on their own. That's the hard part about this job.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, that's the advice I was kind of leaning towards, because I think that's the advice I would give. Like, and I have given to parents, like I've given that parent advice. Like, man, I'm trying to tell my kid this. They're not hearing it from me. And it's good advice. I know it's going to lead them to life, but they just keep blowing me off. And I kind of said it in this way, which is words that you've given me in the past, as I said, you have to decide if your counsel is a burden to them or if it's a blessing to them. You have to decide if the help that you're offering is a burden to them or it's a blessing to them. And here's the best way for them to figure out if it is or not. Just remove it. Remove your counsel, remove your help from their life. And if it's a blessing, if it was a blessing to them, they're going to know pretty quick, and they're going to be like, wait, why aren't we talking anymore? Why aren't you helping me out here? Why aren't you doing that thing? But if it's just a burden to them and it's just preventing them from, finding their bottom or going out and just, having some natural consequences come their way, then they're going to find that out as well. And both of those are good lessons.
And that's where you want to be that person that they can go back to, that they say, oh man, TJ was telling me about this. I should go back and talk to him about this. Because if you don't have that conversation open, then they're not going to go back to you and stuff. And there's that old phrase that says, when the student is ready to learn, the teacher shows up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Love it.
Music.
pick or flick. It's time for pick or flick. It's the topics of our day. I throw them at Sonny like boogers, and he decides to pick or flick them. So, Sonny, you got a pick or flick for me?
I just want to comment real quick on the chat there. The chat, two things. I agree with Heidi. She states that sometimes seeing that potential is intimidating for someone who feels like they fail at everything. And Heidi, I agree. I always talk to a lot of my counselors about half of our job is convincing a kid they have a life worth living. And they have a life worth trying for. They have a life that's worth quitting drugs or quitting whatever destructive behavior they're doing, that their life has value and has meaning. Because you're right. If they've grown up and been the failure, if they've been the failure since they were a kid by their parents and then at school and they've been in trouble or even just internal thoughts, they're going to think no matter what, I'm going to fail. So why even try? And half of our job sometimes is just convincing them to that trying is even a good option. So thank you for saying that. Also, Zanarin, TJ, did you see Zanarin's in the chat?
I did. That's a blast from the past, isn't it?
That's legit, man. I remember we took him to camp. I think it was Camp 1.
Yeah, it was Post Camp 1.
Post Camp 1. And then I went to pick him up, and he shows up with like a backpack. like you know how you can tell a backpack if it's full or not even full. It was like the not full backpack, and I'm like, bro, we're going for a week here, you know. He's like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I got like a pair of shorts and socks. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I remember, dude. I remember them, and cool, I remember his little camp romance with Rosie.
Hey! Thing of the past. You gotta put him on blast like that, bro.
I'm not.
You just put him on blast.
Okay. I didn't mean to.
Remember your camp romance, Pulse Camp year 1?
What are you talking about? My wife is always
you and Dave Irvin.
What are you talking about, Dave Irvin? You know something I don't know about? Oh my gosh. Okay, here's the first pick or flick. Let's get off of that weird topic. The first pick or flick is Tiger King.
Oh, bro. How could you not love Tiger King, bro? Carol Baskin. I love that show. It's the greatest thing ever. Dude, on our Instagram page, if you're not following us, follow us on Instagram. It's BRS Studios. It's the counseling program I run. And we've been like doing these meme wars and stuff. And like half of them have been about Tiger King, man, like cutting off somebody else's head and putting it on his body and stuff. Dude, it's been the greatest. Watch the show. I don't think it's like as crazy as everybody thought. Only like the last 2 episodes are really good. But it's pretty entertaining, bro. It's pretty entertaining TV. That guy's nuts. He's like Joe Dirt if Joe Dirt was gay and a meth head.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true. And he said that he wanted David Spade to play him if there's ever a movie. Which is awesome. But you know, like I just know that there's these people out there who are living these crazy lives. And we see them every once in a while, like at Walmart.
Yeah, you brush by them all day long. We had no idea.
In a parking lot sometimes in the back. And you just like, you know, and this is a serious documentary about one of those people. And it's just nuts, you know, it's nuts. And it reminds me a lot of Grizzly Man, who's another eccentric dude who needed to be around big old predatory animals to sort of find his comfort in life. And it ended dark for him too.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are these people out there and they are nutty. And so it's just fun to watch how nutty this stuff is, but it's also super sad because there's some really sad parts of that whole thing. Yeah. There's parts where I'm just like, what the heck, dude? To like, oh man, the human condition.
And then I hate
how bad this is.
I hate where reality TV has gone, and it's been this way for years, but it just exploits the pain of others for our enjoyment, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's just, I mean, they sign up for it, I guess, to a certain degree and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, man. It's weird.
It is weird. It is really, really weird. And so, I'll pick it, but there's parts of it I just flick. Oh, yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But the whole show is a meme. Like everything, every part of it is a meme. Yes. That guy on a jet ski. It like the second I saw that, I go, that's the reality of me on a jet ski, Brett. Like I feel like Evel Knievel out there, but when it really happens, that's me on the jet ski, right? Yeah, and the funny thing is, like I've seen Sonny with that same look on his face when he's driving around the jet ski,
bro.
And I always think he thinks he looks so cool, but he looks like that guy.
It's kind of like you ever watch Eastbound and Down?
Yes.
Kenny
yes.
Powers, bro. It's like Kenny Powers on a jet ski.
It's totally Kenny Powers. Don't recommend that.
Don't recommend
Anyway, yeah, perfect.
Okay,
man, perfect.
so since TJ, yeah, man. It's
give me your next pick or flick.
It's interesting you brought up Tiger King because I also have a Netflix show for you.
Okay.
Ozark.
Pick 100%. Best show since Breaking Bad.
Oh,
the best show
since Breaking Bad, but it's pretty entertaining, bro.
Since Breaking Bad.
Not even close. Not even
it's
close.
It's so good.
It's not even on Breaking Bad's level.
But
it's good. Did you watch season 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't
like 2 days of it coming out. I watched the whole thing.
I don't like the story arc.
Hey, you can't give things away. You're gonna give things away, are you?
Well, I don't know.
It's too. That's you can't do that.
Watching.
No, but still,
okay.
Someone out there figure out a way to disguise your language.
Okay, I like it a lot. I need to go back and rewatch season 1 and 2, and because there's always parts you miss and stuff like that. But it is compelling. I really like it, man. It's a cool show, and it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, "What's this?" And I started watching it, and it's cool because it's just not it's not like anything else out there right now and stuff like that. And there were some pretty crazy things that happened in season 3 that were pretty entertaining. What
I love about it is it combines incredible cinematography, beautiful looking show. Everybody who's behind a camera and editing is the master at their craft in that.
I agree, yeah.
And original idea. See, the thing is, oftentimes when you get stuff from Hollywood, you get something incredibly polished, but it's Avengers. It's the same thing that everybody wants to watch. Yeah. Or if you want to see something original and good storytelling, you have to go to the independents. And when that happens, like the craft hasn't been mastered yet. And so there's some things that are just not this one's humming on every level. That's why I like it. Breaking Bad was the same way.
And what's cool about it too, I think I know why you're drawing the similarity to Breaking Bad, because it's like normal people ended up in these crazy lives. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I do like that, how it's just this normal family and all of a sudden whatever, and then they go on these crazy journeys and find themselves doing weird stuff.
All of the characters are kind of quirky. They feel like people you would know.
Yes.
And again, it's that cinematography, man. It feels like something that's a really high quality, and I always enjoy that. Both Breaking Bad and Ozark have that in it, and it's gritty. I mean, it's just gritty, and I like that too.
Yeah, gritty is a good word. Gritty is a good word.
That's a good word for it.
That's cool. Next, you.
Oh, it's me. It's me. Hold on. I got my list here. Let me open it up real quick. All right. 1 minute message.
Please. Is that why you put TikTok legend under your name? Wow.
Come on, Sonny. Tell me, are you picking or flicking it?
What am I picking exactly? The concept of it, or your 1 minute message, or what? What am I picking?
No. The concept of the idea, the thing that you called me about this week, and I quote, you said, "You win." That's what you said to me.
Well, I've actually noticed there are several people on TikTok doing 1 minute messages, and I'm liking most of them. A lot of them do some really good work. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've always been giving you flack about your 1 minute message things, but it's a very efficient way of getting a message out there and stuff. And so because we're trapped at our homes now, I decided I need to start. I want to start putting content out there for our kids, and so we've been putting a bunch of fun content. And then I found myself doing these videos once a week because Instagram only has 1 minute videos. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do 1 minute, and I'm finding that it's an art form, bro. So I give you credit. Yeah. It's an art form to cram in an effective yet simple yet powerful message into a minute. To get people's attention and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. I give you praise. It's
a craft, but here's the thing though. What I love about what you told me before was you did it begrudgingly.
Yes.
And then everyone praised you for it. You're like, whoa, wow, how did you do that? It was so awesome. It's so cool. And it just reminds me of how many times you've finally taken something that I've done and then you make it your own. And then all of a sudden it kills.
Stolen. Every good idea is stolen.
It is. But you stole that one from me. So,
okay.
So there
Who
it is.
Who did you steal it from?
I didn't steal that idea from. That's a combination of a lot of different ideas.
There you go. Exactly.
But yes, you're right. Anyway, give me your next pick or flick.
I like how you purposely threw that one in there.
Because you called me this week and told me about 1 Minute Message. So
it was last week, by the way.
That was a good move, huh?
Okay, let's see. I was going to say this last one. I don't know if I should say it. It's kind of dumb. Okay, we'll do this. Teeny-bopper shows. Do you watch them?
Like what do you consider a teeny bopper show?
All American.
No.
You don't watch that show right now on Netflix?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. So like, I don't really like them. Oftentimes, I feel like they've lost something in the last several years. I feel like that they're more committed to telling you again what high school is like than to actually telling you what the characters are and why the characters are compelling. Every teeny bopper show is High School Musical. Oh, there's this clique and there's that clique. And if we could just get our cliques to not be cliques, then eventually we'd see that we're better together. That is every teeny bopper movie.
100%.
But here's the crazy thing is in the 80s, they actually made ones that were actually compelling. And since then, it's all been since the 80s, like since the Brat Pack.
Saved by the Bell.
They have just made the same stuff and they've thrown it and we just keep gobbling it up. It's the same recipe, you know, it's we can't stray from that. Yeah. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So I don't get into it unless it's got a compelling story and then I'll jump into it. There's every once in a while there is one, but most of the time they're not.
I try to always at least know what they're talking about. So like right now, a lot of kids are talking about this show called All American. It's about this guy who's from Crenshaw and he gets recruited to go play in Beverly Hills football. And I watched a couple episodes, but it's exactly what you hit it nail on the head. It's just like, he doesn't fit in. They don't want him. And you can tell the whole thing's moving to like, they're going to come together and win the championship, whatever they're going to do. And I'm just like, I'm not going to waste my time watching this, but I'm glad I know it. I just want to always like stay in the know of what they're watching to a certain degree, but it's like they're cringy, bro. They're cringy to watch.
Yep. And they're all the same one over and over and over again.
It's nuts.
I don't want to say this out loud because it sounds egocentric.
Say it out loud.
Too smart. I'm too smart for it. I can't intellectually.
Show's over.
I'm too smart to watch that same
You're
crap.
You're not that smart. You don't even watch documentaries on Netflix. You don't want to learn.
Oh, we got to just say that one real quick. So my dad lived with me for a moment about 5 or 6 years ago, and he would come home every day and he discovered Netflix and he discovered that there is this well that has no bottom of World War II documentaries. And at first I was like, this is cool. This is awesome, you know, but every day Dad would come home and just flop down and didn't matter what we were doing. He'd turn it on full blast, another World War II documentary. And again, I do think they're the greatest generation. My great grandpa served as a Marine in the Pacific.
It's all good.
I'm not against World War II. I think that was one of the best wars we ever fought.
What was the thing he said to you the one time?
So I finally was like, and he was getting to the bottom of the barrel at that point, right? We're not learning about the war anymore. Now he's like deep diving on the ships that were sunk and are still down there, and they're taking underwater cameras through them, right? That's where we're at with this World War II thing. And finally he's like, Dad, can we just chill on the World War II documentaries for a day? And he looked at me with the most like disappointed / confused look on his face. And he said, what? You don't want to learn?
It's like the greatest story ever. You want to learn today?
And so
what do you want to go watch Ozark? You don't want to learn?
So since that moment, that's been a meme between Sonny and I where we've said, what, you don't want to learn?
You want to learn? I don't want to watch All American. I want to learn.
Man. Yeah. No, dude. I can't do that. Thank you for watching our very first No Kidding live video where you actually get to talk with us.
TJ, don't you have some confessions to make about previous live videos?
Yeah, our previous live videos were pre-recorded and then uploaded. These are not. This is actually No Kidding live. So cool for you guys who get to interact with the show.
We call this the Fringe Youth Worker No Kidding live podcast?
Yes, No Kidding Live podcast. I like that. And so I'm like this, Sonny. I think we should do this every week. Also, Sonny and I, because we are both delivery drivers right now, we might be doing an Instagram live video. And you can jump on with us while we are delivering food to different folks in quarantine.
I haven't done it yet, TJ. I've had the thing for like 3 weeks. It's just sitting in my office and like I can't get myself to go do it, bro. Still got.
That's because you're an Enneagram 5. That's because you're an Enneagram 5. You're an Enneagram 5.
Isn't that kind of like the same thing as like sorcery and like
no, you are
numerology
totally
and all that kind of stuff?
Totally one.
I'm kind of worried about you, bro.
Totally Enneagram 5.
Aren't you a Christian youth pastor?
Oh man,
they accept
I love
numerology
Enneagram
in the church
because it puts people in a box and I can understand them.
Bro.
Sonny, you got anything else you want to say?
Nope.
This is the Fringe Youth Worker Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Fringe Youth Worker Podcast. Don't believe anything